Hey, what's up everyone? It's Philip again. Sorry it's been a while since my last video. I got a little busy doing some other projects, but hopefully this video will be a good way to kind of kick it back off. So if you've been following this channel for any amount of time, you know that I'm pretty into GoPros. I really like the way they work. I love shooting with them. I've had a lot of fun with them. And honestly, they're kind of the way that I got into filmmaking in the first place. They kind of have a place close to my heart. With that being said, I made a video several months back about my 5 favorite accessories for beginners who are just starting off with GoPros. And they're pretty basic things, but they're a really cool way to get you started. I'll link it below if you haven't watched it. Hopefully that'll kind of help you out. But if you've already done that and you kind of want to step your GoPro game up to the next level, I got a couple accessories here today that hopefully will help you do just that. So I've got 3 main accessories that I want to talk about today. These accessories will help you get high quality, but also really unique looking shots that some people are gonna be like, dude, how'd you get that shot on a GoPro? Quick disclaimer, these are not always the cheapest accessories, so that's why I'm saying these are not beginner or entry level accessories, not because they're difficult to use, but just because they're not quite as cheap as the ones I recommended in the last video. With that being said, let's just dive right into this. So the first accessory that I want to talk about is this little guy right here. This guy is a swivel mount. Doesn't look like much, but it gets a really cool shot. I know when I first started shooting with GoPros, I watched basically everything that GoPro put out on their website. And GoPro does amazing stuff. But there's always this one shot where it was like on a guy's head, but it was moving while it was mounted on his head, and I had no idea how they got that shot. I looked all over the place. GoPro itself does not even sell a mount that does that, and it drove me crazy. Eventually I found it. This little guy right here. This little part on top spins, so all you have to do is put a little bar in here. It can be PVC pipe, it could be a selfie stick, anything. And then you put a GoPro on each side of it so it balances out, and it's like a big helicopter on top of your head. But put that on top of a helmet while you're riding around like an ATV or a dirt bike or something like that, and you get some really cool shots. It really gives you a unique way of doing things. It makes really smooth footage too. But it gives you a little more movement while you're doing it. You're not just looking straight down the barrel, so to speak. You kind of get the side a little bit. You get the surroundings while someone's riding. So it really kind of steps it up and makes a really unique shot. Now they have really expensive ones out there too. This one I got on Amazon. I don't even think they sell them on Amazon anymore. If I can find one, I'll link it below. But really cool. It's called a swivel mount. Highly recommend it. The next one that I love, and I think people end up using this more for GoPro photography than they do for videography, is this bad boy right here. So it's a dome port. Now I know it looks kind of weird, looks like a radar gun from like a TV show, but it's actually pretty simple. Basically the GoPro just goes in back here, and it's gonna increase your field of view by quite a bit because it's got the super wide angle now. But when you go in the water, that's how you get those cool half and half shots. So you're gonna get a lot of what's going on above the water and a lot of what's going on beneath the water all at the same time. So if you're at the pool, a river, the ocean, wherever, you can get some really cool shots with this and a unique perspective that if you sat there trying to get that line leveled up just right on an actual GoPro, number one, it's extremely difficult and it's just never gonna look quite right. You're not gonna get that super wide above and below at the same time. Really, really cool. I think this one's like $45 on Amazon. I'll link it below as well. But a really cool way to kind of shake up your stuff, and especially if you're into photography, you can get some really cool pictures with this. All right, leads me to my last one here, which is the one I probably use the most. It's also the most expensive one I have, but it gets really, really cool looking footage, and that is the GoPro Karma Grip. Now, I use the Karma Grip because it's got a couple features in it that I like that work really well with my Hero 5. That being said, I know there are cheaper gimbals out there. They have gimbals for your cell phone. They have gimbals that are third-party gimbals that are made for GoPros that are much, much cheaper, $150, $200 range. This is about $300. But it's really cool if you get the GoPro one because it will synchronize directly with your GoPro, so you can actually start recording, power off, change the shooting mode, all right here on the gimbal, which is kind of nice. You can just, with your hand real quick, you don't have to reach up and actually touch the screen. I know it seems like a small thing, but it's really nice. It's got pretty decent battery life. I'm not a huge fan of how long it takes to charge it. I think if you're not using a quick charger, it's like 5 or 6 hours to fully charge this thing. That's a long time. But with that being said, you can get some of the coolest looking footage with a gimbal. For example, in this video right here, my little brother and I went out to a dry lake bed here in Las Vegas, and he was driving, fairly quick. I was running full speed while I was chasing him. I was wearing Vans, so I'm sitting there pop, 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 flat-footed, and this stuff is smooth as butter. Look at that footage. That is crispy, smooth, beautiful, love it, right? You can take it when you're doing action stuff like that, when you're running, boom, boom, but it's also really nice because if you're trying to get real smooth, cinematic looking stuff, it does really, really well, especially if you throw in some slow-mo. It's just buttery smooth, beautiful. And if you're really trying to step up your GoPro footage and use it almost as a primary camera for cinematic footage, this is kind of the way to do it. Because if you're going handheld, even if you're sitting there going as smooth as you can and you use stabilizers in post-production, it's never gonna be quite this smooth. This is how you can make your footage just look next level. So those are my 3 main ones, but real quick, actually got a little bonus one sec. So I know I said that some of these are a little more expensive. I just wanted to throw in a little bonus one that I just thought of. And it's the classic egg timer. I know it doesn't look like an egg timer, but I basically bought this and it's got like a little ladybug on it, so I wrapped duct tape around it to make it look more manly. It's really simple. You just slap a GoPro right on top of here and you can do a time lapse. Cool thing about this is it's one of the easiest ways to get movement in your time lapse. Instead of going out and buying these time lapse timers that can often be fairly expensive, you literally just slap a sticky mount on top of an egg timer. Hear that? It's just a kitchen egg timer for like $4 or $5. And you do a time lapse with this, you can get beautiful, beautiful videos. This year we went down to Panama and we went to the Panama City Temple. Gorgeous building down there. And I set up a GoPro while I was taking a time lapse on top of an egg timer. This is what it looks like. Gorgeous, smooth, even movement while you're shooting. You do that while you're doing 4K, you can get a beautiful looking time lapse out of your GoPro. You can fake movement like that in post-production, but usually that involves cropping in and you lose a little bit of that resolution. So if you want to get true 4K coming out at the end, use an egg timer, good to go. Well, that's all I got for you today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you did, you share it with someone that you know that may want to step up their GoPro game as well. As always, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for more content. And if you got a GoPro, just remember, you can do a lot more with it than you think you can. All right, that's all I got for you. See you in the next video.